plastic thingy. It fits it. Do you have an Expedit? You know those IKEA square boxes? It fits like right into the Expedit. Really great. I found this one on the side of the road. See, it was broken, but I saved it anyway, and it's really good for keeping my winter stuff. So this is a beautiful pagona. See how pretty it is? This is another one, like I said, it was a Stephen West pattern that I dyed with Kool-Aid, and I just love it. Like, this was one straight skein. It's the Lion Brand fingering again, and the colors are super weird. I think on Ravelry I call it my pagona on acid because it's just so crazy, and I love it, and I wear that one all the time. Really love it. I mean, if you're gonna knit something, shouldn't it sort of like be your own? So this, gonna get weepy. So my Ravelry group does things like swaps and stuff, and it's not organized by me, it's organized by other people who, you know, do all these cool things. And their first swap, they exchanged granny squares, and 7 people made me a granny square, and Holly put it together into my own Fresh Stitches Friends cowl. So I really, really love this cowl. It's perfect, and it has good memories. Love the cowl. Okay, this is, I think I can say, my favorite shawl. It might have been the first shawl I did that like followed a chart. I'm not sure, but I did this one pretty early, and it's called Japanese Feather and Fan, and I almost ate it. It's just perfect. I like that it's white. It's a fingering weight. It's just the right thickness. Like, it's big enough that it never falls off. It's actually warm. And knitting it was really great because it has, I don't know if you can see these wiggly bits that go down. They're pearl rows that separate the repeats. So it's really easy to keep track of where you are. It's super, super fun knitting. My favorite shawl. I absolutely love this one. It probably used to be like whiter when I first got it. I've worn it so much. These are, well, I didn't knit these, but they're felt. Actually, they're leftover. So I did knit something and try and felt it, and it was a disaster. So I just took the fabric and cut it up. This is Stonehenge fiber. They don't make this color anymore. It used to be called turquoise. It's my favorite color, but they don't make it anymore. So that's why I took the project that went awry and cut it up and made mittens. Do you remember my wingspan? So this is my second wingspan, and this one is made, you see it all, with just leftover scraps of sock yarn. So I followed the pattern and just kept knitting until I ran out of a particular color and kept going. So it's sort of fun. So like, this is the Neighborhood Fiber Company's special colorway for a tangled skein, the first yarn store I worked in. This is leftover from the Seasail shawl that I showed you. This is Trekking. It's a pair of socks I made. This is Madeline Tosh Prairie Edison Bulb colorway that I have left over from a shawl somewhere. This is also Kitchen Sink Dye Works that I used to make a stripe study that should be coming up. And this, is leftover from my spry hat that I showed you. So it's super fun, and I like when a shawl's like a lot of memories, you know, all in one. This guy, haven't woven in the ends yet. Isn't that awful? Ugh. But anyway, the pattern's Earth and Sky by Stephen West. I was knitting it when I was moving, so it was sort of like just a fun project, and I ended up using up skeins of yarn that I couldn't otherwise like find homes for. So it's really great because it was color blocked. Honestly, I just don't know what happened. I think I was moving, I didn't weave in the ends. Alright, I'll set this one in a different pile and I'll actually weave in the ends. Okay, I'll do it. This hat, I really like. It's sort of like a mushroom hat. So it's called Persephone, the pattern. It's a free pattern, and oh no, I lied before. This is my first hand spun. The Quant that I showed you was my second hand spun. So this is a merino hand spun that I spun on my drop spindle. and it's with the white Stonehenge fiber mill shepherd's wool, and I knit it. I think it's super cute. I was really proud of it. I sewed elastic into it so that it would actually stay on my head, and I really like this one. This is one of many striped studies. So this is one with a Noro and a alpaca. It's Kramer alpaca. I absolutely love knitting the striped study. That's why I have 3. Completely obsessive, perfect knitting. Like there's something happening every row. You know, I just love it. And everyone always really compliments me when I wear the shawl. But it's sort of difficult because it's asymmetrical. Like you have to put this part sort of high or else it'll fall off. So, or pin it. You can pin it. Well, so I have pinned it before, but what happens is that the pin shifts, like because the pin makes the whole bit heavier, right? And then it shifts around to the front and sort of like falls down. So even though I love the striped study, I never end up wearing it as much as you would think. This is just an alpaca scarf that my grandma gave me. It's in the pile. This is another striped study. This one's a little smaller, so the problem I just described becomes even worse. It's beautiful, like gorgeous, stunning. This gray color that I'm absolutely in love with, that has been in like 3 shawls that I've shown you and more coming up, is oh dear, it's Shibui DK, and it's an alpaca, but it sort of can knit down to a fingering weight gauge. And I think the color is called Ash. It's such a good color, and it's really my favorite color of gray, and I do it with everything. So like this is another striped study, and so it's the gray and orange. Isn't it so great? So it's stunning, it's beautiful. I really just can't figure out how to wear it half the time, so it's really pretty. But I know, I guess I need to get better at wearing my pins. I think I need a striped study that's like symmetrical, maybe that, but then it wouldn't be as good, would it? Okay, this is Spectra. So this is a Stephen West pattern, and it's knit with some blue stuff. It starts with an Shalimar yarns, a blue Shalimar yarns, and the inside is the Stonehenge crazy ball. It's not the whole crazy ball, so I had to pull out some middles to get the colors to flow faster. I really like knitting it. It's a lot of fun. The actual pattern has way more repeats, but I was running out of the blue yarn. And it's super cute. The colors, I have to admit, you can probably see my face. The colors in the skein I thought would like really like pop with the blue, but I think in the end maybe there's too much brown or something, because they end up just seeming a little dull to me. I don't know. It's one of those things, I thought this would be like my favorite scarf ever, and it's just sort of like, meh, it's nice, you know, I like it. This is a simple little basket weave scarf. It's crocheted using front and back post double crochet, and the yarn is really nice. It's Sublime, but it's sort of just too small and too thin. I mean, I guess I can wear it like that, and like that's it. So this one never really gets worn in real life. Okay, this guy, so I got this yarn. It's Yawool Degradé, I think, and I got it when I was in Bern, different German-speaking city that starts with a B, and you know, I try and get yarn when I go visiting places so I can be like, oh, this is my Switzerland scarf. And the pattern was knit up using a Zauberball, so the color repeats are much longer, and I think it gives it a more dramatic effect, whereas here you can tell by the time you get to the longer rounds, the rows are really, the color repeat is really, really short. It's only a row or two. So the effect is much more broken up than I had been hoping for. So it's one of those things, it's beautiful, it's nice, but it wasn't like what I was hoping for when I started knitting it, you know? Like, I would have liked it to stay more like it is up here with the longer, slower color repeats. So it's not my favorite, not because it's not great, but it's just not what I was expecting. but I keep it because I haven't figured out something better to do with that yarn, so I figure it might as well stay. This is the Japanese feather and fan I told you about, well, that you saw earlier, except this is done in bright yellow. And this is where I learned that even if you love a pattern, it doesn't always make you love it as much in a different weight yarn. So this is a lace weight yarn. It's thinner, it's lighter, and I just don't like it as much. I love the color, but it's really the heft of the fingering weight I think that I really liked. So, you know, it's a little extra punch. It's super cute, but I don't know, not the same. Now these mittens I really like. I designed these myself, and they're double knitting. They were my first double knitting project. See, so you can turn them inside out. I never wrote up the pattern because to me writing a double knitting pattern just seems like really hard. Like to decrease, you have to like use a cabling needle because you're passing the stitches over each other, and it just seemed really complicated. It was a really fun project to do for the first time for myself. I did these at the Cricket, I guess my first or second year in Australia, and they're beautiful and I love them, and they're really, really warm because they're a double thickness of alpaca. Unfortunately, the alpaca isn't holding up terribly well. It's pilling pretty bad and it's felting actually, but I love the mittens and they're really warm. I'm at the bottom of the box. These are two little fingerless mitts that were designed by it's one pair, which are two, designed by Stephanie Talent, and there we go, just got them all confused. They're super cute. They have little cute buttons on them. And I wear them sort of like spring fall, you know, when you want to stay a little warm, but you also want to like do things and it's not freezing outside. And so they're very cute, but not for the winter season. So there we go. That's all of the stuff I have in my box. So I hope this has been fun. I thought it'd be cool to go through just like some of the projects I made and chat about them. If you want to find out more information about any of them, they're all listed on my projects page, so you can click through, see the yarn, see the link to the actual pattern and things like that. And so I hope you've enjoyed this.